Hey, Tar Pit crew, thanks for tuning into the Tar Pit Podcast, your go-to spot for all things Carolina football. Did you know you can also catch full episodes of the Tar Pit Podcast on Spotify? If you haven't already, make sure to check us out and follow us today on Spotify for all the latest UNC football coverage. Need fresh game day gear? Swing by the Shrunken Head Boutique or Tailgate by Shrunken Head on Franklin Street. Use code TARPITPOD for 15% off your entire order. Anytime in-store or online at shrunkenhead.com. All right, let's get into it.
What's going on, Tar Pit crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Tar Pit Podcast, your go-to spot for all things Carolina football. Look, we're back with another post-game breakdown. Carolina, as you all know, Carolina went up to Winston-Salem and came up short against the Demon Deacons, 28-12. It's Carolina's first loss to Wake Forest since 2019. I know all four of us were up there. We took the trip. My wife and my kiddo went up there, and then Trevor and Troy had their wives with them. Trevor, I didn't get to speak to you, unfortunately, even though we were like, 25 yards away maybe, but I got to talk to Troy a little bit. I want to do a shout out real quick to somebody before we jump in. Shout out to Chip. I was at halftime. I was trying to get some food, and he picked me out of a crowd and was like, "Hey, you're Chris from the Tar Pit Podcast." I'm trying to get used to that a little bit because when you're trapped, when you're like somewhere, and someone's like, "Hey, you're Chris." I'm like, "What did I do?" For some reason, that's like my first, have I done something wrong? Even though I haven't, right? But I talked to him for a good, 20 minutes at halftime, and it was a good conversation. But man, tough loss, very frustrating, just the same thing over and over. I'm going to turn it over to the boys here. We got Bryn back with us. Of course, he was there on the call with Jones Angel, and then drove 4 hours. And let's just say I've been in a group message with Troy and Trevor throughout this morning. Last night, it was heated. It was hot. A couple of disagreements between all of us. I think the boys didn't hear from me for the rest of the day after this. Even after Troy asked me a question, I was like, you know what?
My man, I thought I was muted, fellas.
I'm not going to say what I thought, but I was just like, you know what? F this. I'm putting my phone down and going to.
I texted. I called Trevor. I was like, bro, did I say something wrong? I'm like, I didn't. I said, I hope I didn't piss him off.
I said, yeah. Chris called me and told me he was quitting, man. It's just us tonight. So.
No, that's funny you brought that up because me and Trevor were talking about that. No, he is factual in that statement, guys. We did not hear from Chris for the rest of the day.
And then, Bryn was texting me and texting back and forth on his way home, pretty heated. But let's get in here. Bryn, Trevor, Troy, whoever wants to take it away. How y'all boys doing tonight?
Good, man. Hey, I'm glad somebody recognized you. Me and Troy were walking out together, and I said the algorithm must not reach Winston-Salem, Troy. Nobody spoke to us tonight. So at least you had somebody recognize you. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Bryn, get in here, man. How you doing, bud?
I was trying to hide last night, boys. I was like, I had head down. I wanted to take the Tar Heel gear off. I didn't do it, but man, it was. I'm doing great. I'm doing as best I can, trying to recover and calm down a little bit. I think we're all kind of feeling the same way. Just kind of confused and got a lot to talk about, and so I appreciate you guys having me again.
Yeah, guys, I'll jump in here too. It was. Barring the aside from the performance on the field, it was a good time in Winston-Salem, man. I always enjoy guys, I've told you this before. I always enjoy going to Deep Town. Winston-Salem's a cool little place. They're doing a lot of construction, so they didn't have a lot of the cool little dive bars that I had parked next to. It was a good little game day atmosphere. The last time I watched Carolina sew up the Coastal Division in Winston-Salem. So they got a lot of things going on. They're building like this little mixed-use complex right outside of their stadium. And I personally, man, when I go to away games and watch Carolina, not only am I going to cheer on and the team that I support and watch and cover and talk about. Trevor, you made a comment a couple of days ago. Every day, like every week, it seems like. I go because of the venues, and Wake Forest is a place that I enjoy going to. The fans are always rowdy and supportive, but they don't talk trash to you or talk down to you, and it's just a good place to go catch a football game. So, guys, next time if Heels are on the road, I highly encourage you to go to Winston-Salem and sit with the Carolina section and enjoy that atmosphere. But yeah, like Bryn said, guys, lots to unpack. I think we've got plenty of talking points. Chris, you mentioned our discussion, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But nonetheless, man, it's frustrating. I thought there were some good things to come out of last night, primarily on the defensive side of the football. But offense, man, I've told you guys, it's our weak link across the board. There's not really one position that you can pin it on specifically. It's just across the board. It's not a sufficient enough product to get wins. And it's the name of the game is scoring points. Like, yes, defense wins championships, but you got to put points on the board. And there were opportunities that Carolina capitalized on those, whether it be 3 or 6. And there were times that they didn't. Whether it be from 2 block field goals or just getting down in the red zone and not being able to finish drives. So we'll talk about it all. Obviously two games left in this season. We're still locked in over here. We appreciate it. All of you guys joining us tonight, wherever you're catching us from, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of our platforms, guys. Give us a follow, give us a like, share our content with all your Tar Heel fans, friends and family. We appreciate the support. So let's get into it, guys. Or Chris, how are you feeling? Did we hear from you? Yeah, we did. You're muted, big dog. Mute monster. Got you.
Sorry, I was trying to find that video that I was breaking down that I sent a picture of, but I don't know where to really go with this. I mean, other than like I guess I could start it off with, and then we can kind of dive in more. I'm only 37 years old, right? And I like to think that that's still young, but I've watched a lot of ball in my life, college, high school, NFL, and I don't know if I have ever seen a team on the offensive side of the ball continue to roll out the same personnel as it relates to like a quarterback position, right? Over and over and over. And even on also the play calling side of things, week after week after week, expecting that something is just going to click at this point in the season. It's extremely frustrating. Nobody can tell me right now. No, I don't care. I don't care if it is, I was about to say Bill Belichick, but he is our coach. So of course he doesn't believe it, but I don't care who it is. Nobody can tell me that Max Johnson or somebody else on this roster cannot give us some type of different spark or approach to what we're seeing on the offensive side of the ball. In my opinion, our wide receiver room is way too talented to be putting up the yards that we're seeing week after week after week. I just don't get it. And definitely at this point in the season, I'm not saying in trash time or things like that, but with Newkirk and Baker, they are 10 times the athlete that Gio is. And I don't understand why there isn't certain packages at this point in this season so it doesn't burn their red shirt to see what they have to offer for certain types of packages. I'm not saying the whole game. I'm talking about for certain types of packages and situations, right? Yeah. So I've just continually in the NFL and college, I have never seen a coaching staff week after week after week not try to make changes and make things work. If Bill Belichick is who he is supposed to be and cracked up to be, you would think at this point in the season, they would be able to figure out something that they are good at. And right now, I cannot pinpoint. I'm not talking about player wise. I'm talking about systematically wise. Like, yes, you could say player wise, like June, Ship, Paysor, like you could keep going, right? In my opinion. But like when it comes to just the production that schematically that you're seeing on the field, I cannot point to one thing that this offense has identified that works. That's just where I'm going to start. Y'all can take it. I feel like Bryn wants to get in here. So Bryn, you're sitting way up, right? I think, we were sitting maybe 20 yards up or so. I'm going to jump off camera for a second. I'm going to try to find that clip real quick, but Bryn, Trevor, Troy, I'll let y'all take it for a few minutes and kind of just see where y'all want to take it.
Yeah, and Chris, you hit everything that I was going to hit, and I'm honestly going to try to be as politically correct as I can, but it's going to be tough. And I think I want to start with look, everyone in college football, if you're a fan, alumni, a supporter, you have ownership stake in the school you represent. And you pay money to go to games. You pay money to drive there. You bring your family. Sometimes you don't realize this might be the only opportunity that someone has to watch you play. And I think that's just not getting portrayed on this team. And that's probably building wide. I think for me, it starts with there's more ways that you can win a game. There's not just one way you can win a game. And every game's different. I had to learn this over the process of my career. And whatever that game dictates, you have to do. And right now, we cannot score the football. And that is causing us to lose games and not even keep us competitive. It's a multitude of things. I think we get the bare minimum out of plays. Where there's more there from the player standpoint. I think schematically, I agree with Chris. There's things that we can do to help our players be successful. And I think those are a combination for the failures that we're seeing. And I'm speaking from the heart. I'm pissed. I think everybody else is pissed. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of confused on what's going on. But I do want to praise one kid that really handled himself very well after the game and the post game. That would be Jordan Shipp. That young man has represented this university with microphones in his face like a grown man. And I really appreciate what he has to say. I know there's other leaders in the locker room. I like what he's saying. He's telling his teammates, and I know he is trying to rally. Look, college football is really hard. It's hard to score points. It's hard to be in the modern day of social media. It's hard to be in the Twitter land of criticism, but that's just the reality of the sport. And it was always there. It was just now it's more magnified. But Jordan Shipp, I want to give him a shout out. That young man is doing everything he can, and kind of some of the things that I saw. I was calling the game with Jones Angel, and man, I was very frustrated the entire game because I think people don't understand how much these rivalries mean to North Carolina. And to the guys who wore the emblem, and to the guys who are part of the rivalry and part of that game, right? Like, Wake Forest played harder than us, period. Wake Forest had better effort. They were playing to the whistle. They were hitting guys out of bounds that were a step or two kind of late. They got one personal foul, but I like that. I like the energy that they had. They showed up. I don't think we showed up with the same effort and energy. I'm just going to be flat out. I didn't see it from pregame. I didn't see it from the offensive side. I think our defense is playing extremely consistent, and I am at a loss for words on why we didn't show up on Saturday at 4:30, wanted to kick their ass. And I just know a mentality that I had in the locker room is every guy from that city that we played that was an in-state opponent got up the night before and said how much this game means to us. And that was a Kickstarter to we're going on the road. And we're going to drive 82 miles, and we're going to bring everything we got. And I just think there's personal pride involved where you can make more plays on Saturday afternoon. It's got to mean something to you, man. It really does. And right now, I think from coaches, players, support staff, everybody in the building, you got to have a real gut check, man, because everyone's got ownership stake in this team, and they want to see a successful product. At least you give your best effort and be competitive. And we're not doing that right now. And the last point I want to make, and I'll kick it to you, Trev. But I fear that we don't have enough personal pride in what these in-state games mean, man. Like these next two opponents are going to play harder than Wake did. I'm not saying, and Wake gave us our best shot, and they were the better team. But to not score a touchdown and you have 5 possessions or 6 possessions at the 30-yard line, I just think they outplayed us. They outcoached us. And honestly, boys, we got punked, man. Like after the game, the whole situation at the end, look, you got to call it like you see it. I said I was going to trying to be politically correct, but that's what I saw from up there. And we got to improve from top to bottom.
I completely agree, bro. I like what you brought up about Ship. I did a post earlier. Sometimes we forget he's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean, a true sophomore. And for him to he's been awesome, man. From the start of the season at ACC Media Days, he has been a leader. And I really hope that we make the right moves this offseason, because people's going to try to poach him and talk him out of transferring. And I really hope we can keep him around. But, man, I remember Troy was sitting beside me yesterday, and I was there. I watched the pregame warm-ups, and Troy sits down. I said, Troy, I just went out here and watched Gio in warm-ups overthrow 5 guys in warm-ups, 15 minutes of watching. I watched 5 balls hit the ground. I watched a few of our receivers, the balls hit them in the hands and they drop it. We go back. I know it's just night and day difference, though. But when we had Sam and Drake, these guys would go 2 hours in a practice, and sometimes not one football hit the ground, right? And we're out there in warm-ups, and like I said, I count 5 that hit the ground. And it's just it's frustrating, because I have been I have backed Gio. You boys know that. I've tried to back him as long as I could.
You've got his jersey.
I bought his jersey. Like,
you came up with a slogan.
It's Gio time.
And I want to say it's Freddie Kitchens and Gio's time to Gio. They got to go. They got to go. I'm just going to say it. I've pointed at it early in the season. I thought Freddie should have been relieved of his play calling duties. I think that I'm just going to be point blank. We've got, Chris brought it up, we've got 2 players that we need to see what they got, because we're going to have to go find a quarterback in the portal this year. If we can't, we got some young guys coming in, but we need to see what these young guys have. And I really don't see Freddie Kitchens changing from what we've seen all year. And it's frustrating, man, because this is Bill Belichick, a 6-time Super Bowl winning coach, and I would expect to see changes. We've seen so many different running backs play, so many different receivers play, but why can't we see a different quarterback come out there and play? And that's the biggest frustrating thing for me. So I guess that's where I'll end my rant.
So let's have a discussion around this, Troy. And I'm gonna kick it to you first. I believe this is Todd. I think he mentioned his name was Todd. He's from Alabama. I appreciate you tuning in, Todd, all the way from Alabama. Again, we had Tar Pit post game after Carolina falls to Wake Forest. I forgot where I was for a minute. Wake Forest and Winston-Salem. Look, wherever you're listening today, we appreciate it. Please, if you can, give the stream a retweet. If you're over on X, if you're over on YouTube, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and do all the things, right? Help us grow if you can. But let's have a discussion around this, because, as you've watched the past few weeks, I feel like maybe there's almost 140 people tuned in right now, that probably 80% of these people, if they were to put a post out, I mean, you've seen it, right? Gio, I need a different quarterback, play Max. Why can't we get Max? Give me Baker, that thing over and over. So I'd like to just have this conversation for about 5 to 6 minutes before we get into some specific plays that we saw. But see, to me, and Todd, I appreciate, this statement, because it leads us into these types of questions. I don't so much agree with what Todd has to say here, but I kind of want to open it up to you guys. Max Johnson, right? He while he didn't hold on to the jobs at high level at LSU, Texas A&M, he didn't perform like a scrub at all, or he didn't perform like a third string quarterback that didn't know what he was doing, right? He made plays, he made touchdowns, he scrambled when he had to. When he came in and was protected for Carolina this year, he was able to make it past his first read for majority of the time. So what's y'all's thoughts around this? Do you feel like another quarterback could give us a better chance of winning, like a game against Wake Forest?
I mean, I'm not in the building 24/7 around Carolina, right? We just watch them, tune into them, read about them, and then talk about it and discuss it around our own opinions, right? But I would like to think that part of this going into it, right? Gio came into the year, we found out later on in the season that he was dealing with some injuries. I know he exited a few games with some injuries. And then you combine that with the product that we saw on the field offensively leading up to this point of the season. It was frustrating. You know what I mean? And then you start to see some kind of, life or somewhat of a pulse against Cal, Virginia, somewhat, not really much against Virginia. But then the second half against, Syracuse and Stanford, it seemed to be a completely different offense that was out there on the field. So I don't know if them not making a change, like they made a change at QB because they had to, right? Gio was hurt. I fully believe that if Gio was a full go, he would have been out there, right? Bill hasn't said otherwise. Bill's said it on more than one occasion that he feels and the staff feels that Gio gives him the best chance to win. Whether that be knowing the playbook or whatever it may be. I'm not in that line to kind of make that call. You know what I mean? But, one of the things that we could talk about is I guess the eligibility or the red shirt aspect of it, right? You don't want to hinder Bryce's and Atori's, red shirt eligibility. So will we see him? I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Can we see him these last
you
two
can play
games?
4 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Play 4 games. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, was there a chance? Was there a game that y'all can recall other than the earlier ones where y'all would have liked to seen Baker and Newkirk? I mean, because I can't give you a game where I'd have been like, okay, we need to see Bryce Baker or Max Johnson this game.
I'm talking about packages. I'm not saying for a whole game. I'm talking about certain packages that are designed for them. I mean, I just can't believe that there's not someone better on this roster right now that can give us a better chance. I mean, anything in life. I mean, just like if you're investing in a stock, right? If it keeps crashing, you're not going to keep investing into it.
Yeah.
Do y'all not think the times that Max has came in that he hasn't looked better?
I've been on record.
I mean, I think Max has looked better when he's played because the offense fits Max better.
I just think it's more from where, yes, would I like to see another QB kind of get some burn, whether that be Bryce or Ettore or Max? Yeah, probably so. I wouldn't mind it at this point in the season, given the overall big picture of where we're at offensively, not just at the quarterback position. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, but then again, you can pose the question, do you trust Freddie Kitchens to play to their strengths? You know what I mean? They see him more than we do. You know what I mean? So as far as the QB goes, and I don't really think that this staff, like they've been no stranger to drawing up different packages and getting different guys into the game, right? I guess they must feel that Gio can deliver the ball to those guys better than the other ones can. You know what I mean? I firmly believe, I've went on record and told you guys that, in the times that we had seen Max earlier on in the season, he strung together some pretty good drives and looked better than Gio. You know what I mean? And then it comes out Gio's injured. So was that playing a factor in it? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just kind of look at it more from a broader spectrum, I guess I could say. Like, we're not there offensively for whatever reason. Bill's labeled it as inconsistencies. We're consistent in doing enough little things to be competitive, but we're not consistent enough in doing everything to get us over that hump offensively. And I personally, and I think all of us can agree with this, that we see it from a bigger lens of like, okay, well, we know what we've got in Jordan Shipp. We know what we've got in Kobe Paysor. We've seen Damon June and Benjamin Hall in their emergence. You know what I mean? So it's like, why aren't we utilizing those guys better? Trevor, I was telling you, that it just doesn't seem like in our route combinations we're drawing up anything to put any pressure on the secondary or anything that, they harp on, yards after catch. And I do think Gio missed a ton of throws against Wake Forest. And I guess where I'm at with Gio is his, and I told Trevor this, his decision-making ability. That's what frustrates me the most about him, is his decision-making ability. The times that I've been the most frustrated with Gio Lopez this season is when he doesn't get the ball out on time, he misses reads, and he just tries to do too much. I mean, Trevor, we saw him step him in a pocket to a clear sack. You know what I mean? It's just the bonehead decisions that he makes that I think we're all frustrated with. And combine that with the inefficiencies that we get from just the offense all around, whether that be play calling or performance on the field from individual guys, that's is why we're having the conversation we're having right now, in my opinion.
Bryn, I'm gonna kick it to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a scenario, right? You're experiencing this right now, and you're the coach of Carolina. What are you doing?
Yeah, and guys, I really think that, look, Troy, I think I completely agree with you in the way you're seeing it. And to answer your question, Chris, I went through it as a player. Look, I sat behind TJ for 2 years, and Butch Davis. People don't know this story, but we were playing LSU in the Georgia Dome, first game of the year, my redshirt freshman year, and we had a quarterback battle, and he pretty much the night before the game said, "You're both going to play," and I was hyped. It was kind of my time. TJ didn't have a very good junior year, and I was competing, beat him out in the spring, and then kind of got to this situation where I was going to play against LSU, top 10 team, and I was pumped. And first 2 drives, we did not execute the way we wanted to, and we had a backed up series. And he threw a 96-yard touchdown pass to Jaheirney Boyd, and I never saw the field, and I was supposed to go in the next drive. And that was something for me where I never saw the field the rest of the year, so I ended up sitting 2 years. TJ had a heck of a year, and I love TJ, and he was a 4th-round draft pick. But I went through those emotions as a player, right? And so I do think the quarterback journey, everyone has a different journey. And I do think the biggest relationship in sports is offensive coordinator and quarterback. That is number one. I do think the most important staff member over head coach is offensive coordinator. That offensive coordinator has to be in sync with the quarterback, and they have to pick them. They had to select them. They got to say, this is my guy. He can run this style of offense. I don't think that's the situation right here. And I think that's a lot of points of what Troy was hitting on. I think there's just different guys that fit different systems. I take Drake May for an example. Josh McDaniel is a big reason why Drake May's in the MVP conversation. I think Drake would admit that. He's actually came out and said that is Josh McDaniel was born to call plays. And you see it across the NFL. You see it across college football. You look at the guys at Oklahoma. They just beat Alabama, but they brought the OC and the quarterback and to run the system, right? So it's a system. And we talked about the systematic approach has to match the quarterback, and you have to get the pieces around you. And I know it's year one, and we have a 10-game resume, boys. And all these frustrations are what everyone's seeing, right? And I think I'm actually tired of the cliche answers of, hey, this, we need to get more consistent. At the end of the day, we've had 10 games to watch the film. And a coach told me a long time ago, you are what your record is. It's just flat out. It is what it is. And we have not produced on offense like we should. And we're leaving the defense out to dry. And if I was in that locker room, and Chris, I'm going to answer your question in a second, but if I was in that locker room, I would feel really awful going to practice knowing this defense is playing like a top 10 defense and is on the field as much as they are. And I've put these guys in situations where their backs have been against the wall. They've given us turnovers where we have the ball at the 30-yard line. And we've gotten turnovers where we have had the ball at the 6-yard line and not scored. And this has been a common theme. And I think when we play the better teams, we're really seeing that. But Chris, to answer your question, if I was the coach, look, I coached quarterbacks at FIU, and we had a similar situation. We ended up going 1-11, and we had a senior, and the freshman Grayson James was probably better at the time in the middle of the season. And I played the experienced guy, and Max was it really wasn't Max's fault for the deficiencies. We were still scoring points and just wasn't a collaborative effort. But I think at some point you do have to utilize everybody on your roster, and you do have to evaluate. And like I said, I agree with Troy. I'm not there every day. I'm not at practice. I'm not, in the locker room and seeing what they're seeing. And obviously they've done it longer than I have at the coaching profession. But I do think that you do have to try to get a spark out of the team. You have to try to uplift and try to give guys opportunities, just like he did in New England with Bledsoe and Brady. I mean, we've had these situations, and he's had them in his career with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brady. And there's tough decisions to make as a coach. Coaching's hard. Coaching's very, very hard. But at the end of the day, you have to make the best decision for the team and who gives you the best chance to win. And if it's Gio, you got to go with him. And if it's Max or somebody else, you got to go with the hot hand and who's playing the best. And right now, we don't have any production from that position as a whole and as a unit to say that it's warranted for not making a decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to jump in here after you, Bryn, and kind of ride your coattails a little bit, bro. Ship mentioned it very well, and you mentioned Jordan Ship and how he handled himself. I'm in agreement with you, man. That dude is one of my favorite Tar Heels. And obviously I support everybody on the team, but in terms of, just how he represents, the team and the program, I love that guy, and he's a true Carolina kid. But he mentioned it in his press conference about, taking accountability and looking themselves, offense specifically, in the mirror these last 2 games. And he said it. He was vocal. He did not shy away from it. They asked him if he was loud about it in the press conference. He said, yeah, I wasn't quiet.
I love that.
He said,
I wasn't whispering.
Yeah, he said, I wasn't whispering. So,
need more of that.
Yeah, and that kind of gives me hope that, the coaches will do the same. The coaching staff will do the same, because I don't think that these players, and Bill's mentioned it, the last 2 weeks, if we would know now what we know then, or knew then what we know now, we would have done things differently. We would have put players in different positions to, get better production out of them, or whatever it may be. And I think you're seeing a little bit more of that on the defense. The defense had a look in the mirror moment. After that Clemson game, I fully believe that defense sat down with themselves, staff and players and units. Belichick talks about units within the, the defense and the offense, and they got on the same page. And you've seen that, the product on the field. But I fully believe it was more on the coaches taking accountability on where they were at as well. And we haven't seen that on the offense. And I don't think that these guys have been put in positions to utilize their skill sets the most. Look, we've seen Jordan Ship for 2 years now. We've seen Kobe Paysor for 5. We know what these guys offer. We've seen what Damon June has done. And I'm with you, Bryn. I get tired of the inconsistency excuse too. You know what I mean? We've had going on 10 games now to figure this thing out. And whether you were behind the 8 ball with, who you brought in or whatever, you know what I mean? You figure out over the course of the season with new guys and all the turnover that you had, like, okay, these guys aren't good at this. You know that. You know what I mean? You've been in those situations. Yeah. You got to figure out who's good at what and then build around that. And, they missed. I do think that they missed and misevaluated on some of these players, and they've had to figure it out the hard way. And I'm not bailing them out when I say that excuse, because that's a cliche excuse. A cliche excuse too. Guys have to step up. Guys have to take accountability, and that includes players and coaches. And I think the defense has done it, and the offense hasn't. And something's got to give. If they have to have the hard conversations offensively in the room and figure out what they need to do to get the wheels going on this, to figure out to end the season on a high note. You got 2 games left, and I've told you guys this. I'm 1 game at a time with this Carolina team, not just offensively, but as a whole. You've got 2 opportunities left to win some monumental games and make a bowl game. That should fire you up enough to say, hey, okay, we've got production from our running back room. We can get production out of our wide receivers. We have to figure out where the dots aren't connecting and identify that problem and try to maximize the most out of this offense these last 2 games. Does that start at quarterback? Yes. To me, I think we're all in agreement to that. Whether they do it, we'll see.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Just real quick. And I think it's got to be more than just Jordan Ship getting pissed off, man.
It does.
It's got to be personal pride that, you're not scoring the football and we're not winning, and it's because of the offense. And guys, I got booed off the field a couple of times, man, against NC State, and we came back and won because it pisses you off so bad where you're like, man, I'm playing all out and we're gonna go score. It's a mindset, man. You're jogging on the field, you're sprinting on, you're like, hey man, we got to have a drive. It's positive momentum. And when we get a penalty, it feels like the drive's over. And we don't have enough explosion. We don't have enough guys that are breaking tackles. We don't have enough guys that have the will to win right now, that are inflicting their will on the game. I check it down to Gio, and that dude would make 5 people, Gio Bernard. I check it down to him, make 5 dudes miss and get a first down on 3rd and 15. I'm like, I didn't do anything, but that guy cared enough to go the extra mile. And we get the bare minimum out of these plays. And see, now y'all got me fired up. But we got to it's got to be, yes, it's a combination of everything. It's scheme, it's players.
Yep.
But, man, at some point, man, you got to dive for that. You got to freaking get after it and go make plays. And it's got to mean more, man. It's got to piss you off that we're not scoring. It really does.
To add to that, you talk about not scoring. This is the first game since 2016 that we have not had an offensive touchdown in a game. And there's no excuse for that with the playmakers we have. First half, no runs of 10-plus yards, no passes of 15-plus yards. Like, I told you boys at the beginning. I know Bryn for sure, but us three could have made calls yesterday and adjustments in that game and at least got one freaking touchdown. I will go to my grave and believe that, boys. Like, there's no excuse for it. It's crazy.
Chris, jump in here. You're muted, buddy.
Mute monster. I learned that tonight.
You like that, Bryn?
Man, I'm using that on my work calls.
That's free 99, buddy. I won't charge you for that.
I'm usually good at that besides the past 2 weeks.
Dude, I started off a podcast solo with a guest on mute, like immediately, as soon as it came off the intro music. So y'all can't top that.
What was it that y'all were saying? You're no more excuses. That's not the word y'all used.
Cliche.
What was it? No, there was something y'all were using a while ago.
I used cliche. I know that.
Yeah, just like the rhetoric, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where I am. I've been trying really hard. Like I want this to work really bad, right? And I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, right? But I've been trying to see this from a lens. If this was not Bill Belichick, but if it was a different coach, how would I feel with this season, the way it's turned out, right? With the amount of resources that's been put into it. And here, when I was driving back last night from Wake Forest, I was thinking about when I was driving back from Winston-Salem, I was thinking about Wake Forest and their team and the turnover that they had. First-year head coach, I believe, first-year head coach. Spent nowhere near the amount of money that we did on our roster. And something that Lombardi has harped on, it seems like, since the very beginning, is a pro scouting department. But clearly, in my opinion, failed on so many levels when it came to scouting players compared to Wake Forest and where they are now at 7-3. It's just, I don't know, guys. Like, it's just that's just where my frustration is building. Is that it has been building like through these past 10 weeks. Is if this was a different coach and not Bill Belichick, this university and this fan base will be up in arms, but we're willing to give it patience because it brings such a big name.
Yeah,
so
Chris,
that's just where I've been going at with it.
You got to recruit this first, man.
Yep.
They got it here. Does football really mean a lot to them? Does it matter to lose to Wake? Does it really eat at you? Because it's eating at all of us, right? Like, it's pissing us off. We've had a bad 48 hours. I know for me personally, man, I've been pissed off. And you got to recruit from here, man. I don't care if you look like Tarzan and if you look like Tarzan, you're going to play like Jane. Like, it's got to be here, man. Do they love football? Do they matter to be a Carolina Tar Heel football player, man? And you want to change the program, man. Like, this has been consistent before. Like, we've had, gaps where we've had really good players, but haven't had really good seasons. And somebody got to change the narrative, man, especially on offense, because this is not acceptable. So I'm with you.
Well, I'm gonna jump to a couple of Bryn, great points. I appreciate you jumping in there on that. I want to look at a little bit of film here before we go into the block field goal and the discussions around rules. With that, first I want to start. Let's see here. Let me get.
Oh no, are you pulling up the clip?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go full screen for this.
I sent this over to Ronnie McGill. He didn't get back with me yet, though. I know he will.
I got to get back to Ronnie. I like Ronnie a lot, man. He's a good man.
Just asking him, like, hey, what do you see here? Like, I cannot get this play off my mind. And this is why I would love to eventually. Oh gosh, like, you can't even really see this, can you? So because
it looks good.
Okay, so when this is the play, it was third down, right? And Troy Troy and Bryn, y'all can break this down a little bit better than I can and what kind of scheme we're seeing here on the offensive side of the ball and what they're running. But
Can you go back to the before the ball snap real quick? Yeah.
3-2 with a stack set on the right, Bryn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know Ship.
Go ahead, Chris.
Ship was on the inside there, I believe it was, and then you had Jake Johnson crossing over as well. And I'll just roll it. And so he gets chased out here. He sheds that, but right here.
One more time.
The ball should be out right there to Jake, in my opinion.
One more time. So I think one thing, go pause at the ball snap, because I want to kind of get into this real quick. And I know I'm going to take a long time, but look,
you're good.
When they have that radar front, you got to make sure, number one, the first thing you do as a quarterback is get protected, right? That is the number one thing. And I was around really good offense coordinators that like made me OCD about getting protected. Okay, who's picking up who? And when you're an empty, you're alone, brother. You got 5 dudes. You are on an island. And that's really where I kind of want to go with, look, if we're under center, we run the ball. If we're an empty, we throw a quick game with Gio, right? And it's very predictable. So right here, like they did this all night, right? So we got 6 guys, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 guys down. We only have 5 guys to block. So, and you don't know who's coming. And that's tough for a quarterback, but you got to see the contour of the defense, right? And so here they did this all night with, especially when their third down packages. And Belichick mentioned this they were very, on first and second down, on base, down, and distance, they were very simple. But when it got to third down, they got really complicated. And that's tough. So I'm not saying this is easy. Yeah. And so right here, guys, I would honestly be prepared for them bringing 6. Okay. And then adjusting to them only bringing 5. So I do think they only bring 4, right? But they twist. And I think you have to be really good at the offensive line spot to pick up the twist, right? And especially when the twist comes from the field. So when they twist, if you want to run it and pause it right when he hits it back foot, pause it right when he gets his back foot, sorry. So like right there, like they twisted it. And the game is essentially when they twist is to eliminate a dude scrambling out to the field and allowing that for third down to be an escapability. So that was probably a tell they had. It says, hey, man, you're not trying to get the quarterback. You're in contain rush. So you're trying to get steep and deep and contain them from not doing that. So if I was coaching Gio, I'd say, hey, man, step up. Hey, when you hit your back foot, step up so that tackle is not in a bind. Because right now, nobody's blocking him. And when you escape, you're really closing the gap to him. So I was always told, hit your back foot and step up, and you find Jake. Right now, He has no idea where Jake is because he's already left. And once you leave, there is no going back, man. You are on your own. So I always wanted to find the eye of the hurricane in the pocket and step up. And so I could dump it to Jake. So if you go back, when he hits his back foot, sorry, I'm being extra here. I think this was only it was a 4-man rush, but he's got to step up. And so I think he could have stepped up where that contained rusher would not have been an issue, and he can find Jake, right? So I think this is more of a concept where he was looking at Ship as his first read and then comes back down to the shallow, which is Jake, and probably had a dig on the backside with the back. So, look, there's different things, but that's just what I see. But I completely agree with you guys. Once you scramble, man, the whole play is off. So you want to keep the concept of the play as much as possible and step up in the pocket.
So one thing I want to point out here is after we haven't even let the full clip play yet, and I'm not saying this was negative body language by Jordan Ship at all, but
frustrated.
If you see, you can tell that it feels like he knew. I'm not trying to put like thoughts into his mind of what he was thinking, but just his body language, it feels like he was saying, I was open. Dang it, we missed it. If you watch his hands in frustration there towards the end. And so then I also pulled up, let's see. Yeah, this right here. So what I had here, of course, like Brandon and Troy, I'm not at Charles' level, right? Or Trevor, but the green was kind of like what I thought was maybe his first read. And then the red was like where I thought the ball potentially could have went, but I wasn't sure. Maybe that D line that was still in chase right there, not the one that is feet, but the one that seems that's in front of him. This is why I would like the all 22 so I can see it from above. Maybe that D line is blocking his line of sight because he is, and this is not a shot at his height. It is what it is. But 5'10" at best.
Go ahead.
Well, that's going to be a tough ball to complete the ship.
Mhm.
I mean, you got 5 right there that's playing him. Now he's not. I don't know if he's moving, if he ends up moving with him or not. But then you got 3 that from how he's running that route. He's running with. He's past the sticks, so if he makes the catch, it's a first down. But he's running with Gio scrambling, and I just think where he's at on the with the field position, it's a tough throw to complete.
Yeah, and just to chime in on that, I always thought about ball travel, right?
Yep.
So, like, the ball's got to travel what? He's at the 30. It's got to get to almost 15 yards, right? And so almost 20 yards, right?
A lot of time in there.
10, yeah, almost 20. And so here's where we practice this, man. Like, this was scramble drill, and we had it in 7-on-7, and our OC, Coach Shoop, would be like, hey, man, it's scramble drill. Okay, so I would scramble on purpose. Right now, if Gio's running, Kobe Paceor's got to go. He's going straight to the end zone down the hash, and he's clearing out that space.
Clearing out that, yep.
Yeah, Rodgers was the best at this when they got free plays. He would scramble, and so Kobe Paceor really has to do a basketball spin move and spin on the outside. He's got to go because now you take out – now Ship's going to be open, right? It's clearing the space. We have no spatial awareness schematically. And I don't know if we've practiced this because right when you leave the pocket and you get outside the tackle box, Kobe's got to do like a double move stutter and go straight down the sideline, and he's got a chance. Because, dude, 5 is breaking on the ball in his inside shoulder. So you can spin out of that. And Ship is like, yo, man, clear the space out because I'm going to be open. So there's just different things, man, we got to do. Like, there's just some things where it's scramble drill. Like, all of our receivers, it was like, man, I scrambling, like, go make a play. Now I can freelance. Because, like, Kobe can go like this and then spin out and reverse out, and he's open down the field. Because right now, like,
three's either going to play down and cover that bound and cover that space, and Kobe's wide ass open, and you just hope and pray that safety up top don't see him, and he can leak behind him good enough. But, I mean, you got to trust that Gio's going to make that read and that throw, you know?
Yeah, exactly, Troy. And you can't have 2 people in one spot. They're too close. Because now the corner, like Troy said, he can play 2-and-1. Gio throws that ball, it's pick 6.
It's first down or touchdown.
Exactly. And, like, you gotta have space, especially when you scramble, and you got to have awareness. Like, oh, man, I'm like, if you were on the sideline, you always had to go. And if you were in the middle of the hash, you always had the outside out of bounds. So I know it's got thing to do on the run, but
football school with Bryn Renner.
I got a question.
Man, we're starting it up.
I got a question for you, Bryn. So I know you mentioned Gio setting up the blocking. Isn't that on the center too, as well?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like,
can we watch Austin Blasky on this play at the beginning? Can you go back to it, Chris?
Yep.
I mean, I've been frustrated with Austin because he was supposed to be one of our best ones, and he has got penalized so much.
And I'll be honest with you. I don't mean to cut you off, Trev, but to harp on your point that you're just making, Blasky, man, for a 5th or 6th year senior now, whatever he is, he's been around a lot.
I don't know if it's 5 or 6, but he's a senior.
He's been around a lot of college football, and you would think. I know he. I just dropped my phone. Sorry, fellas. You would think that his play hasn't been as consistent as I would probably like them to see. And I haven't went back and looked at play by play, but I know he's probably been penalized more this season than he has been since he's been in Chapel Hill. I mean, he can play all spots across the offensive line, so they say, but I mean, I haven't been as super impressed with his consistency, I guess you could say.
And my point is he should be one of our leaders, right?
Exactly.
And I don't know, I'm not in the locker room, but Jordan Hall, I know, is there at tackle. He's one of the younger and experienced guys. So what I'm saying is, like, isn't it on the center there too to set up some of this blocking? Because if you run this play here, watch the center. Like, that's who I was watching the whole time.
So we slid to the weak side. And you're exactly right, Trev. Like, so we're doing a 3-man slide to the 3-man surface, right? So we're saying that we're going to slide the 3-man to go pick them up, right? And honestly, we did not execute here effort-wise from all 5, right? Like, if all 5 were getting graded, man, like, it is probably, we used to grade every single position. and that's not very good on this rep. But you're exactly right. You set the tone aggressively. Like I never liked when people pass setted and gave up ground. I like a jump set in pass game, especially in empty, right? Because you get to be the aggressor. Like I like the jump set where, look, his first 2 steps, he's gonna feel my hands. And you look at, if you run it back, Chris, one more time. I know we're getting long-winded, but I need one more chance at that. We didn't have hands. They were all vertical set, and guys weren't getting in hands and being aggressive, right? Like the guard didn't even touch the looper. And there's got to be a pass-off communication. Once that guy ducks inside, you got to know as the left tackle, and that just comes with reps, and he's a freshman, that guy's going to come outside, and it's like, it's pass, and you pass it off. And that just comes with reps and experience. And we haven't had the same starting 5 unit consistently, but you're exactly right, Trev. Like the integrity of the offensive line starts at that position at center, and center is the toughest position to play, in my opinion. You got a lot going on. You probably got to set the protection and things like that. So, but yeah, I completely agree, especially for that rep. It's got to have tendencies, and you can kind of tell when people are gonna twist and stunt.
Yeah, I just had to bring that up because we heard some
good
stuff
point
at the beginning about going back and asking for more money. And when I see play like this that I've saw, that just really frustrates me. So I had to bring that up.
It's fair, man. It's really fair because it's look, it's on tape. You know, like you can't run from tape, man. You can't really run from tape.
Brandon, you got a question for you. Biggest difference you saw between Fedora and Davis? Also, if you didn't play football, focus more on baseball and basketball in high school.
Oh yeah, man, great question. First one, man. Look, I think that's why my quarterback journey was so special, is because I played in 2 different offenses that were one fit me really well. When I was getting recruited by Butch, I wanted to be a pro style quarterback, man. I wanted to be in the pocket, run play action. Had a lot of success in 2011, and that was what I did well. And then Larry comes in and he's like, okay, we're going to run zone read and go as fast as possible. And guys, it was like I was coming off ankle surgery after the bowl game when we played Missouri. And that spring was like the most challenging thing I've ever done, because like I'm running zone read and I'm a 6'4" white guy that runs 5 flat. Actually, I ran 4.87, but nobody wants it. That's some speed right there, Troy. That's some speed right there, baby. 4.87. So, and like it wasn't what I did well. Like I'm not a spread guy. And so I had to adapt. And so if you look at 2011, we're dropping back, and I got really good running backs. I got 5, the big horsemen right here that are really good. And then we go from the spread where we didn't huddle. And it was like everything was done at the line. I had a ton of control. And thank God I had my dad and did it in high school, and I had to go back to those roots. So really, I had probably the toughest experience from any quarterback that we've had, going from pro style, being in a huddle, to no huddle, and just completely changing the way I played from 2011 to 2012 and 2013. But yeah, it was a great experience for me because I got a taste of both. I mean, I was in the huddle call and play call, stem to strong right, Z short, 772 Z drive, can to west left slot boom, 436 H peel. Like that was what I was doing. And then it went to Ram 60 Titan. Like that was the difference in play calls, right? So that's the difference in offenses. But yeah, to answer the personal question, man, something I always appreciate was I got a chance to play both in college, man. Like Coach Fox gave me a chance to play baseball, and actually started in baseball before I did football. And that was a dream of mine. But yeah, I enjoyed playing all 3, and it's come out a lot. Like, Drake played a lot of sports in high school. And that's the biggest thing, man. If you got a son, play all 3, man. Go be an athlete. Have fun with the boys, man. There's nothing like high school sports where you're playing all 3, because you get different experiences. Like football made me tough, man. You got hit in the mouth and you had to get up. Baseball made you patient, the opposite of football. Because if you go for 4, like you got to have a gut check. Like there's some good pitchers out there. And then in basketball, man, I could shoot. I love to shoot, man. I was chucking it up, and I had good success in all 3, but I enjoyed the different nuances of all 3. So I really encourage being an athlete, because I think it may be a better quarterback.
While we're on the topic of Bryn Renner's life,
oh man,
I had just a little like surprise little video. I wanted, not a surprise or anything like to sound weird or anything, but one day I was doing some research, and I came across this video. And so just real quick, I kind of wanted to get your get your take on it and kind of like what was going on here.
Oh man. Oh, the fainting goat. I knew it. This is great. This is a great.
I gotta know. Like,
I remember watching this on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it went viral, boys.
When Go Heels posted it.
Watch this. This is great. This is perfect timing to show this. Man, watch this. Watch me hit the ball. That's how pissed off I was. Get shit out of here. Look, didn't even give a high five to the OC.
Who was your OC at that time?
I'm pissed. Blake Anderson, man. He was great. He was a great OC, man. He was awesome. All right,
Blake,
so
he was at Utah State for a little bit, wasn't he?
Man, Adam Perry, that's my dog.
Yes, sir. That's fun times, dude. Like I said, I remember watching that when it got posted at YouTube by Go Heels.
Pause it right there. Pause it right there when I spike it. Because it's intertwined, and I'm gonna leave after this because you guys don't need all my talking. So go from the end zone where I spike it. All right, so this is in practice, right? Dog, I took practice serious as shit. Like, practice was the biggest thing in my life. I waited all day to get to the afternoon to practice because it meant so much to me, and it meant so much to our team. So we were struggling a little bit offensively with some offsides penalties, man. Like we were. And I think this was the biggest thing. I'm guys, you know I'm a competitor, man. And we were having a bad practice, and I just ripped the team because we were jumping off sides. Like, I just ripped them. I'm like, man, this is BS. We're doing this crap in the game. The coaches didn't have to tell us anything because we had more personal pride to go hold another dude accountable for not doing his job. So they played a prank on me to get me pissed off and basically, you know, make me so upset because I was such a high-strung guy and competitive. Like, look, I was jogging off the field because I was pissed. I'm like, yo, man, this is practice. This is not like, you know, you're not messing around. So this was kind of like the joke in between the staff and me because I wanted to hold everybody accountable for the standard in practice. This is during a Thursday walkthrough. And like Thursdays meant like we're preparing for the game. And that's how much it meant to me. Like, I was pissed at the coaches. I'm like, this is not a joke around session, man. Like, this is actually like my time to get better. Like, my boys, like, I'm pointing at the boys. And so that's what it takes, man. Like, I didn't give a shit. Yeah. Like, play a prank on me, man. Let's try to go score points. I was pissed. And like, those are all my boys, man. Those are like my guys. But like, look at the dudes in the back. They're still doing like, it's a good joke, but I'm like, man, practice is not a joke around session, dog. Yeah. Like, this is time to get some damn points on the board.
We could use a little more pissed off right now. We could use a little more pissed off right now.
I know, man. I know we went off schedule, so I'll let you guys get back on schedule.
Hold on, Bryn. Do you by chance have time to stay for the block field goal discussion?
I got anything for the boys, man. I'm a locker room guy, dog.
All right. Let's talk about this block field goal because you know a lot of people's been talking about the rulings, the rules behind it. When all the people in the stands behind me, were like, "Oh, you can't do that, and I kind of just want to have a discussion, like, what you can do.
I
can't do.
I had a discussion about this with a former Wake Forest player. And me and Trevor were sitting here screaming it like, you can't do that. And I didn't catch it at first until I noticed people that were sitting in your section getting pissed off about it and fired up about it. And then they show the replay of it, and it clearly shows that he hops over the guy. To be honest, he hopped over the gap, right? He didn't hop over the center. That's a no-no. Like, you can't do that. But you can't hop over the line in general. And I looked that up because I was sitting there going crazy about this. And he's like, that's an NFL rule. That's an NFL rule. And I'm like, well, if it's an NFL rule, like, I know they're two different like entities, the NFL and, college football. But like, if you can't do that in the NFL, I would like to hope that you can't do it in college. So how that was missed, and we verified it. I looked it up during the game. I connected to my wife's hotspot to look this up because it bothered me that bad. Lying. It bothered me.
Class of 91 guy, him and Troy were going at it.
It bothered me that bad about it. And you can't do that. I looked it up. You can't do that. You can't hop over the offense unless where it is allowed is if he is stable within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage.
So go back real quick because I did the same thing on air. I was pissed. I'm like, man, okay, so
he's not moving.
So here's the thing, though. I don't know if his hand is down, but if you are in a 4-point stance, you technically and lined up over the guard,
it
is allowed. And guess what happened? Oklahoma did it to Alabama and blocked it. I just sent it to Chris on his phone, but this guy goes in detail about Oklahoma knew the rule book and beat Alabama as a result, because I lost my mind. I didn't connect to my wife's hotspot, but I was enraged by that, because he said if it is not a foul if the player was aligned and stationary over atop the guard. So he's in a 4-point stance technically, and he's over top the guard. And so by rule, nobody
But see, his hand's not.
I think it is illegal though.
He's not in a 4-point stance though.
Agreed.
So, but see, what I saw was leaping if you are stationary at the snap and remain behind the line of scrimmage. Like, it doesn't go in depth to where it's like if you're in a 4-point stance, it's just like if you're stationary.
Right. And that's probably, like, I guarantee you boys, this will be outlawed.
Either way, it's illegal.
Definitely. Like, it happened to Alabama, Bryn. It'll be outlawed. It happened to Bama. They're going to make a change.
Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say you can't do it, because we just had the discussion of ways you can. But I don't know. Was he stationary?
I always thought it was illegal. And I told you, Troy, I was like, if it's not illegal, why don't we see this shit all the time?
Because it clearly states prohibited actions, running forward and leaping across the line of scrimmage to block it. It says no, it is not legal to hop over the offensive line on a field goal attempt in the NFL or NCAA. Prohibited actions, running forward and leaping across, using offensive players to gain leverage or like leapfrogging them. Permitted action, jumping straight up, leaping if you are already behind the line of scrimmage at the snap and do not cross it, leaping if you are stationary at the snap and remain behind the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, he's not really moving. He doesn't get a head start.
But he's technically I think it's illegal because he jumps over he jumps over the center's shoulder pad. Yeah. Like, if you want to jump over the guard, good luck. He's going to flip your ass. Yeah. But, like, you're definitely, it happened. I mean, this is our game, and then
maybe it's a technicality.
Alabama game. I think it is. And man, I do think that this crew was terrible.
I had that discussion with that guy, and I went back and watched it. I made the note of like, okay, did he hop over the gap? Like, did he play it? Did he play it right? Like, is that something they drew up, sat down and dissected? If so, hats off to that staff, because if that's a technicality, we just exposed it here on the Tar Pit podcast. So we'll see if it gets tightened up. But I don't know. That was definitely, I told Trevor it was 21-12. We had kicked 5 field goals at that point in time. No offensive touchdowns. We all know that story. If we don't have these 2 field goals blocked, it's 21-18. But it goes back to where we were in the beginning of all this. Like, yes, it's a different story in the game, right? You're having a totally different discussion down 3. You can game plan differently down 3, and it totally it's a whole different ball game when you're down 3 as opposed to where we were at. But do you have the confidence in the staff and the guys that we've got to get over that hump? I mean, we've seen this team come up 2 yards short 2 times. And while those situations, are tough, we didn't get the opportunity to see if they have grown from that, because they weren't put in positions to be successful. I feel like during the course of the game, man, we're having a whole different talk. I feel like at that point in the game, down 3, you can game plan it differently, and you have to roll the dice. You know what I mean?
And that's where my frustration.
It's a big what if.
From. As terrible as we were on offense, we could have still been at that point down by 3. As good as the defense we have. And that's where I'm like, I watched us waste Drake May, essentially, right? We should have won more games with Drake. We should have won more games with Sam. And now I feel like we got a defense that we can win games with, and we're watching this crap on offense,
Well, what about this amazing moment that we all got to witness together, this record? I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see this broke in our lifetime. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that ball was crushed, man.
57.
I didn't see this angle of it because it looked like he had called it right. But like it was.
I think he kicked so many field goals, boys. His leg was tired, and the 2 got blocked. No, I'm just
Dude,
kidding.
Reese
Well, they were
Fairhall,
low. They were low.
I
Yeah,
told
they
Trevor this
were.
during the game. Tom McGinnis has gotten his work cut out for him. Shout out to Tom, because it's like consistently, dude, his punts are inside the 20. And Reese, man, I mean, I know he's missed a couple this year. It's going to happen. But, I mean, to boot a 57-yard field goal, I'd honestly thought the kick against Florida State, Nick Weiler's 54-yarder.
That's my boy.
Yeah, that dude, like, I didn't think that it was as long as that one, but 57, that's solid.
I mean, not to backtrack, but I mean, you could even have a discussion. I mean, that was going into halftime, right?
Yeah,
So,
I was going to bring up that point. I think you're going to get to it, Chris.
They burned 40. I think I went back and looked. It was 40 seconds off the clock just getting to the line of scrimmage and getting set. Like,
I remember that play.
At this point of the season, I feel like that should be practiced. I mean, I know that's being practiced throughout the season. I mean, a 2-minute drill, or whatever it is. I mean, Trevor, you can go on Madden or NCAA and do practice 2-minute drills all day. You know what I'm saying? But so like me burn 40 seconds. I mean, everybody is screaming like, "What are we doing?"
I was out of my seat at this moment trying to beat the halftime crowd to get a refill and some soda and some popcorn with the wife, and I get back to the seat and Trevor's like, "Well, we had the ball back, but we wasted about 40 seconds of game clock because we couldn't get lined up right. The people weren't in the right spots." He's like, "This has been a cluster. I won't use the last word of that on stream."
I mean, Bryn did last week, so
he did drop the F-bomb. It's not prohibitive. It's not prohibitive.
I don't like nice things, man. I always ruin it.
And we would have had an extra timeout if we don't have to use it on, what was it, a freaking PAT try we call a timeout on?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I've told you guys, and I've stood by it. We're a consistent offense away from having something really good, and that I do think and shit. I'll piggyback on this, and then Bryn, if you got to go, brother, we'll jump on a little bit of defense because we're at an hour 10, guys. I mean, I'll go all night. I send it in the private chat. This is some good stuff, But I mean, offensively, guys, and I've told y'all this all season long, Brent. And Brent, before you started jumping on with us, bro, it's been awesome having that segment dissecting film like that. That is something that I have dreamed about with this podcast, man. And to have it at this level and doing it at the level that we're doing it at, it's been cool. It's been awesome, and I look forward to expanding that and growing it. But I told you guys this more than one time, and I'll revisit it. They've got to have a look. We'll see what changes they make, if any, during these last two games, whether it be quarterback or whoever else. But there's got to be a look in the mirror offensively and figure out a direction you want to go. And you've got to address more in depth. I mean, guys, I remember when Bill was hired in December, it was like taking forever for him to get in the building and get going. And like the transfer portal was active at that point. We were missing out on so many pieces offensively and defensively. And then, he brings in some guys, and him and Lombardi do it pretty much by himself because there's no staff at this point in time. And, did they miss on some guys? Yeah, they've admitted that. He admitted that a week ago in his press conference on a Monday. So, I'm anxious to see, and I'll bring up my guy Suggs' comments, guy right here. 2 to 3 years, boys. Well, I mean, I fully believe I'm in it for the long haul, guys. We can talk about the after the game annex and the handshake stuff. Me personally, I love it. I love the fire. I love that fire. Like, yes, me and Trevor had this conversation earlier. Like at that point in time, and Chris, we've had a discussion too. But going back and looking at it, man, Wake was trying to punch the ball in. They were running plays to try to score, I feel like. And it pissed Belichick off, and he said it in his post-game press conference. He didn't know what they were going to do, and I fully believe that. Going back and looking at it, I mean, these guys are running up the middle to Damon Claiborne on first and second goal, and we stuff them at the goal line and get the 4th and goal, and then Robbie Ashford runs it in. So, I mean, to me personally, I don't mind the fire. I mean, given the fact that we just watched our offense not score a touchdown and we kicked 5 field goals and have 2 of them blocked, Chris, I know I said this earlier, bro, and I didn't mean any ill will or any malice with this and the way I said it. I know I hate sending messages over text message because you can never cipher how somebody means it.
Voice memos.
There you go. I appreciate that, bro. I always laugh at my wife.
Audible. We'll go to
I always
voice
laugh
memos.
at my wife because she's sitting there talking in her phone. She's like,
I'm
"What
a
are you
big
doing?"
voice memo guy, man, because you hear voice inflection.
But I'm like I'm not worried about that with the way the offense that we're running. Like, I'm not worried about whether he shakes Jake Dickert's hand for longer than like. And I'm not saying that's how you meant that, Chris, or what you or anything like that, bro. That's not what I meant. And maybe I'm making a bigger deal about it than it needs to be. But we had that discussion. But it's like I'm not worried about it when we're kicking 5 field goals and can't finish drives on offense. So it's like, I mean, I love the fire, dude.
No, it's all love, Troy. I mean, I believe Suggs put this in here, and I always appreciate him tuning in. After I kind of went on my spill about, will we be having these same feelings and patience if it was a first year coach, Wake Forest, but of course I'm gonna give it time. I mean, I'm not out the door, right?
Jake Dickert had a solid foundation at Wake. Like, let's not forget. I mean, was that program? We talked to Connor about it. Wake had a couple tough seasons, but in this transfer portal era, Jake Dickert is a very likable coach. Comes from Washington State, guys. We talked about the gems that Washington State's produced. I mean, and I do think he got some guys in and they hit, and it fits what they want to do. Yeah. And in the transfer portal era, that's what it matters. But there needs to be accountability. There needs to be a look in the mirror at the end of this season. We'll see what happens in the last 2 games.
The look in the mirror starts with looking the coach in the hand and look in the eyes and shaking his hand like a man.
I'm with Troy here, Chris.
Yeah, I don't care.
Dickert, whenever he does that, I'm saying
first-year head coach. You should have stopped him. You should have got your defense to stop him. And so what? Like, dude, you're
I told Troy,
winning Super Bowl coach, shake the man.
Pull the Matt Brown and grab him by the throat. I'm mad he didn't do that. If he did that to me, I'm unplugging. Boys, y'all would hate me if we're on a competitive field. I can't tell you how many fights I've got into.
I was a chirper too.
Church softball. Slow pitch church softball. If you get competitive with me, I don't care what it is, I'm coming at you, just like Bryn. I don't care. But when that coach does that, I'm the same way. I'm telling you, boys, I have gotten heated arguments on video games with people that I've been best friends my whole life. I want the fire, probably, but you don't want to play me. You do not want to play me. I'm saying you do not want to be against me because I'm going to be in your you don't do that against me. And our players at second goal, our defensive line is cussing at the other team. And as a coach, I want a player's coach that's going to fight for me. And our players didn't like that shit. Bill didn't like it.
Get fired up, Trev.
I'm with it. I want that, bro. And
all right, let's get Bryn out of here. He's in the private chat.
Man, I love this, boys. I love this. I'm gonna go watch some Sunday Night Football and calm down, man. This is good stuff, man. I love being with the crew.
Thank you, Bryn.
Hey, I appreciate you, big dog. I
love when people get fired up.
Not to put you on the spot, but next Sunday,
I'm all in, man. I told you, man.
We got to talk about our game day show too. 3:30 kick. I was praying, please don't put us at 12. I was who's that?
Wait, can I come pregame too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Right. Yeah, let's roll. Let's go.
Who did Chancellor Roberts pay to get a 3:30 kick?
That's big time.
I'm glad we got a 3:30 kick, fellas.
Huge.
3:30, and I'm telling you,
boys. I'll see you guys on Saturday. I'm gonna watch this Sunday night game. Buddy. I'm out. Peace.
You, big dog.
Thanks.
Later. Peace.
Hey, let me do this real quick. Oh no, you're good, Bryn. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Let me do this for our Spotify listeners that's going to tune in this tomorrow. We're going to close it out right here, but we're going to keep going on YouTube because I can't post an hour and 30-minute episode on Spotify. So my homies, our guys, supporters of the Tar Pit Podcast on Spotify, thank y'all for tuning in today to this episode. We really appreciate it. Be sure to leave a 5-star review on Spotify. Also, if you're listening on YouTube right now, do know you can listen to full episodes of the Tar Pit Podcast on Spotify. We're trying to grow on Spotify. So do us a favor. Until next time, go Hills. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's keep going over here on YouTube and Twitter. I'm just saying, boys, I love y'all, but I'm just saying, man, I'm a firm believer. Like,
I get your side. I get
I'm
both
with
sides.
you.
I
I'm
get
with
both
you.
sides.
I'm with you 100%, Trev. I ain't mean, Chris, Trev, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, and I just got pissed over our text message because, like, you were like, I don't care about, like, who's really caring about that? And I'm like, I do.
Well, I did.
And then you're like, what would you say about? Well, I'm not saying.
Yeah,
you,
I did it.
But
I
you
didn't mean
but
it
you
that
said
way.
who? I'm
Well,
who.
Well, I get that, but when I say who cares, it comes from the like, oh, who cares? Like, not just like I'm not asking that question. It's just the saying, like, who cares?
Troy's saying we got bigger shit to worry about.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
like, I mean,
Yeah, but here's my thoughts behind it too.
I get where you. Let me say this because I had that where I was going with this. I get where you're coming from. Yes, as a man, it goes back to Hubert Davis, and John Shire and Coach K and all them not shaking their hands after they beat K in his last home game in Cameron, right? Look your opponent in the eye, acknowledge him. If you're pissed off, let it be known you're pissed off by your body language, but shake his hand and do it. But I'm not questioning what another man, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that you are either.
Yeah, look at the private chat, Troy.
Yeah, I know you're not upset. I know you're not.
Bryn
But
Renner
we do need
all
some,
day, baby. Okay.
We did need some clarification on that though, because like that's a key thing in our program right now, man. It's like dudes pissed off because they were trying to, shove the ball down our throats and score with 20 some seconds left and then question why we call a timeout. Like, what do you mean? You run 3 plays willingly trying to score with your best player who's torched us all night in Damon Claiborne, if I'm not mistaken. And then you get mad because we call a timeout because we don't know what you're going to do.
Hey, and shout out to Claiborne too, bro. Like,
he went off, bro.
I know they
Dude's
just
a
beat
dog.
a 4th-year player at Wake Forest and decided to stay. I'm sure he got paid. I don't want to like speak on something I don't know, but stayed to the school. Like those days feel like far gone. Like you could talk about Seth Trimble, for Carolina basketball. Like, so like I was looking at some of his film prepping for the pregame or the playbook. No, not the playbook, scouting report with Connor last week. But yeah. I mean, some of my thing about the whole handshake too, and this is me, you know me, guys. Like I think about things way too much sometimes. And it's like I'm picturing that, right? And like so much has been on the internet throughout this season, leading up to the season, right? About Belichick, the off the field stuff, stories being ran, a lot of it clickbait, and now this on Twitter has gone viral as well.
They're gonna talk about something.
I know, but I'm thinking about like these recruits out there, their families, their parents. They see that one clip. And then you got running off the field.
Yeah.
And you see that, and you're a recruit's parent, and you see that, and like, I don't know, do I really want to send my kid there? That's just kind of like where my mind went with it.
Most competitive people, I think, are like, I mean, if as a player,
I am super competitive too. Don't slight me on that.
As a player, I want to go play for that guy. I'm telling you, like why didn't Wake Forest kneel the ball? Why didn't they kneel the ball? Why were they still running plays?
Make it clear your intentions.
Question.
And I saw a thing on Twitter too. It's like, in that moment, Jake Dickert, you're a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach. And, Jake Dickert took his hat off to greet you at the 50-yard line after he beat you and you lost to him and this, that, and third. And I'm like, what do you want him to do? Like, give him, meet him and shake his hand, like give him flowers or whatever. Like, it's football, dude. He lost the game.
Yeah, Belichick's not to be a spectacle for other coaches.
Yeah, it's not like and Mac Brown did that, and that's what ticks me off, and that's why I've transitioned from using the term Belichick era, like in this, you know what I mean, and because it's a new era of Carolina football. Trevor, from an investment standpoint, administration, all the way around. Like, it's like no coach is bigger than the team. And I personally don't care if he's won 6 Super Bowls or not. It's great that he has, but go win us some football games, big dog. Go get us a quarterback that can throw the ball downfield. Go get us an OC that can, give me
an
something.
OC that brings a good quarterback with them that already knows the system, like you see it across college ball. If it's okay with you guys, let's switch over to defense just for a little bit.
I'm gonna jump off real quick. Y'all lead into it.
Dang, I wanted to talk
let's roll
with you about this. Okay. I know what you got to do. Just hold it a little longer.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to, do that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So this right here. So, going back to the Clemson game, we saw this happen too, right? Where I believe it was number 8, they're running back, going down the sidelines, or one of Clemson's players, right? And you saw at least, I think it was like 2 or 3 Carolina players, like, let up. No time no time throughout your career growing up playing football on the defensive side of the ball are you taught to let up, right? Or assume a player is out of bounds, or assume a player is down. You play to the end of the whistle, or until the whistle is called, right? So just watch this play, and Marcus Allen, he's not shown on this screen on right here. He comes in at the top.
Troy couldn't hold on any longer with us, Chris.
Okay, all right. So if you look at the top right here, the feet at the top far right of the video, that's Marcus Allen feet. And look, we're a player first podcast. We're not cutting on certain players. We're just picking out what we see, right? If you follow, he goes out of frame for a little bit more, and then he comes back in. Right here is where I want you to pay attention of the effort. It's a slight jog. The angle that he's taking is perfect. It's just a lackluster effort, because he's assuming, I believe that here he is assuming this player is going to be tackled or goes out of bounds. But you watch it. He kicks in another gear when he sees that. Who's this player for Wake Forest, number 8? What's his last name?
Carlos something. I'll get it. He's the one who killed us, though.
All right, so right here, watch. All right, so pay attention right here. He comes on screen at top. Look, you see that light jog? Because he's assuming that he's going to be out of bounds. Like, and then he kicks it in the gear. So the angle that Marcus was taking there was great. It was just
Carlos Hernandez. That's the player's name. But yeah.
What do you think, Trevor? Am I seeing it right, or?
No, I completely agree. I mean, look at what Gavin Gibson's going the whole time.
Full speed.
I mean, for the most part, he slows up for a second not to run into his own guy, but he's coming from a longer distance away and gets closer. I mean, he gets closer because he's running full speed. So, I mean, we've seen this. How long did we see this under Mac's defenses? That was so freaking frustrated. And this is something that's carried over a few times this year, especially in the secondary.
Chris, I jumped off because I knew where you were going with this, so I'm good now. What the jogging and whatnot ticks me off, but I have been, how am I trying to put it? I've praised the defense and their tackling, and specifically the secondary, because they've been on their P's and Q's the last like 4 or 5 weeks. And for the most part, they did a decent job Saturday night. Wake scored off of one possession off of a fumble that was picked up by Hernandez and ran in. And then they hit that flea flicker. Everybody in the stadium's thinking, even I thought it. Everybody's thinking deep shot like you normally would. Somebody's beat somebody somewhere and somebody's wide open down the field. That wasn't the case. Hernandez shoots across the field and beats everybody and runs up the sideline. And that specific play, what got to me was the angle, the angle of approach. And you combine that with the lackadaisical effort, it seems like that's what you combine that and it just makes it extra frustrating.
Let's give some praise on this play too. Watch Mekhi Bayer. Watch him this whole play.
Here, let me do something. Let me see.
Right there at the bottom. At the bottom, number 4.
Look at him. The whole time. Full speed.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen a better angle from Marcus on that. I think he could have took a better, and that situational awareness. You got to know where he's at on the field. He's the furthest guy. He's got the widest angle of anybody in that play. He's the furthest from the ball. You've got to know where that guy's going and what angle you need to take in order to stop him from reaching the goal line.
Okay, I do see what you're saying now, because I had first thought that he took a good angle. The angle was fine, but the issue was the speed of him taking the angle. But I think is the issue is a combination.
It's a combination of both. He takes a bad angle. He does not need to be inside the third. Like, that's a terrible angle. Don't know what angle he could have took because I don't have that other side of the film to kind of point that out. But from what I saw of that play, bad angle combined with bad effort equals touchdown for Wake
Hey,
Forest.
also shout out to
Shout
Kamori House for his first career sack.
Yeah.
He also
Kamori's
had
been on a tear.
yeah, we need to open the checkbook up for him.
I told you guys about Kamori before. As bad as I hate to see Thad, not like as bad as I want us to. I wish we had more than one season with Thad, and I wish there was some way he could get a medical red shirt or something, or some kind of technicality or whatever they can try to work out for him, because he's a great player. But I'm as bad as I want him for another year, I'm extra thankful that we have the potential to see Kamori House in the Carolina uniform for next season. Because you talk about guys that are bought in to the mission. Suggs threw it in the chat, 2 to 3 years. That's a guy you want to have on your roster as a face of your program, and a vocal leader. And they talked about Kamori and sung high praises for him, about his leadership. He plays Belichick said it. He plays the middle linebacker spot, and he's got to be the guy that leads and is vocal. There's a lot of, and we've had guys at that middle linebacker spot and linebacker in general, Ced Gray, Power Eccles, Jeremiah Gemmel, guys that have commanded, the defense. And Kamori is a guy that if we can keep him on campus, I think he's going to play a huge part in what we're doing, not only defensively, but for Carolina as a program. He's a guy that I'm super excited to have back. And yes, Chris, I agree with you. I think we do need to open the check for him. There's a couple guys on this defense that we at least need to open up the checkbook a little bit for. We'll see what happens with 9.
I've got a question on that fumble you had up. Who forced that?
That was Kamori House's forced fumble, I believe, right?
Was it Kamari that forced it? I don't know. I haven't found that answer yet. I've been trying to look. I asked Troy. I was like, "Who forced that fumble?"
Does it not say it in the stat sheet?
I'm looking here. I don't see anything about it. Let's see. I got Gavin Gibson with the recovery.
I believe that was Kamari.
I'd love to know because it's not listed. I know Kamari got his first sack, so shout out to him for that. But yeah, I was wondering. I don't know if you can even tell from the video.
Lord, Troy in here trying to use the thing.
Yeah, you can't tell. I see Andrews right there in the middle of it.
Look at us dissecting film. Who is that? Bump it back.
I know Kamari hit him from the back, but I didn't know if
Who
Simpson
came in
called
flying
it.
back there?
It's Kamari from the back and then Andrew Simpson in the middle. But I was just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He got jarred loose somehow.
Luckily, we picked it up, right? That first drive.
We had
that
one fumble in the first quarter. I mean, the opening drive that he scored off of. That's another play that,
we missed one before that, though. We should have had a sack on third down and been off the field. But then we do a good thing, force a fumble, and then, yeah.
That I was talking to a guy about that earlier. You look at the Carlos Hernandez play first quarter. You we spot you 7 in the grand scheme of things, right? I don't know, man. It's crazy. I think the defense in the grand scheme of things, I've told you guys coming into this game, the defense is why those two programs are where they're at this point in the season. Wake Forest is 7-3 right now because of how their defense is playing. Carolina had won 2 games in a row going into it because of their defense's ability to assist the offense in winning those games. You know what I mean? Like it was the defense is the reason why Carolina offense went out there and scored points, but we didn't see it really get going in the first half, the last 2 games. So, I won't sit there and bash the offense completely because they went out and done what they had to do. They scored points, but the defense, willed them along the way, and capitalized on opportunities and made winning plays in key situations to put the offense in good positions.
I was hoping our D-line would give us a little more yesterday. They got pushed around a bit. And we go back to Dicker. So you build a team from the inside out. He did bring 2 pretty daggone good offensive linemen from Washington State that have been
defensive linemen.
offensive linemen that have been an anchor for his offensive line at Wake Forest.
And they've yeah. I was thinking defensive line for them for some reason.
I don't have anything else. You boys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, guys, I'm good.
I got some stuff I need to go over with y'all after this.
Well, I just want to remind the folks, it's always a pleasure talking ball with the guys. Shout out to Bryn for coming in here and chopping it up with us too. Love those film breakdowns, man, because the guy with his knowledge coming on the Tar Pit and doing that with us, man. Looking forward to having him, expand that and doing something with that and running with it, man, because that's premium stuff that we're putting out for the folks that are watching, the 262 that we've currently got watching. We appreciate all of you. It means the world to us. But guys, it's a process, guys, and we're back to square one with it, and we'll see how these last 2 weeks go. I'm excited to be back in Keenan on Saturday to take on Duke and try to get that bell back. Y'all clipped me earlier in the year about the victory bell, but I'm excited. I think we got something in the works with our guys over at Section 17 podcast that cover all things Duke football. Excited for that. Got a game day live show coming 3:30, and I did want to remind this, Chris. You know where I was going. You're a wizard, bro. I'm telling you, he's a wizard. He's a wizard, folks.
I put the link in the comments too. They will just have to copy and paste it. I don't think they can click on it.
This was an idea that Chris came up with, so shout out to our guy Chris. But we're all on board with providing somebody the opportunity for 2 tickets. Is it 2 tickets?
Yep, 2 tickets.
2 tickets to Saturday's game against Duke. You must be following the Tar Pit podcast.
Twitter only.
Yep, Twitter only. Comment on the post and tag someone, and then repost the post as well. Announcement will be on Thursday night. Carolina fans only. We ain't giving it to you Dukies to come into Keenan and root for them damn Devils.
I've done this before for a baseball game with Carolina versus State, and I will go through your social media to make sure I can find a picture of you in Carolina gear.
My man is on the hunt.
Bonus if you're subscribed on YouTube.
And they are good seats. I wish we would have clipped the picture of the seats, the view of it. They're solid seats. I think they're right around.
Oh yeah, they're lower level.
Dang, boys! You know what I forgot to do?
What?
I forgot to add in on this. Also, a $50 gift card to.
I was wondering.
Shrunken
I didn't
Head.
want to say nothing, but I was wondering.
Bro, I've told you, always speak up, dog.
Hey, you didn't talk to me and Troy for all day. I wasn't gonna poke the bear.
Hey, but look, folks, on the real, 2 tickets to Carolina and Duke at home, last home game of the season, senior night for this Carolina football team. You guys got to come out and support this team, man. It's the last home game of the season, and you get a $50 gift card to Shrunken Head or Tailgate. Like, I don't really know what do I got to do? Meet y'all
$50, and you can also use a 15% off coupon with the $50.
We're tired of watching Freddie Kitchen call plays, so we're giving up 2 of our tickets.
No,
no, we're not. That is not how that works. Nah, but guys, on the real, we appreciate you tuning in to us tonight. Chris, you want me to send this thing off?
Yeah, man, you got it.
I appreciate you guys tuning into our content and tuning into tonight's post game. It was fun being in Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, despite the product on the field and the outcome of the game. Nonetheless, I've enjoyed doing this again with you guys on a Sunday night. Shout out to our guy Bryn Renner, and shout out to the over 200 people that have tuned in with us tonight on the late night tip. We appreciate you all. Be on the lookout for more stuff coming this week with all of our live game day show announcement times, all that good stuff, guest lineups and whatnot. And of course, we'll be live with the Tar Pit Scouting Report coming this week as well. So be on the lookout for all that. We just appreciate you all, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping in here and talking some Carolina football with me. But until next time, go Heels.
Go Heels.
Go Heels.
Hey Tar Pit crew, thanks for hanging with us today. Quick shout out. Today's episode is powered by Untapped Sports Network. Big thanks to them for the support. If you like this episode, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support goes a long way in keeping the podcast rolling. Make sure you're subscribed and following the Tar Pit Podcast on whatever platform you're listening on right now. And don't forget to follow us on social. We're on X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search the Tar Tar Pit Podcast and you'll find us. Until next time, go Heels.